I'm not quite certain they're going to beat President Trump and the people around President Trump, but I believe that that is their purpose. I think the establishment that's been entrenched in Washington for so very, very long on both sides of the aisle, they can't have another Donald Trump pop up in 10 years, another billionaire populist who wants to make things right in Washington. So they have to punish Donald Trump, his family, destroy his businesses, his friends, where I guess I fit in, and others, and just to make sure that this never happens again.
Folks, I cannot tell you how correct that is. I can't. That is almost 100% of the motivation behind the Mueller investigation, the deep state leaks on supposed collusion between Trump and Russia. All of this is aimed at destroying Donald Trump and everybody with him, to send the signal to others who might be thinking of trying it: don't even think about it, because we will destroy you too. I've tried to come up with various analogies to further explain and be persuasive on how this is actually structured and what it is, searching for ways to explain just how elite and distant and removed from the rest of the country the Washington establishment is. It does comprise people of all parties, not just both, but all parties. It's made up of people who have certain university pedigrees. They are in certain vocations, and it is a very exclusive, very arrogant organization. It does not have membership. There's not a manual that contains the names of everybody who's a member. You know whether you're a member or not. There's not a single figurehead leader of the establishment. It's more a way of life and a way of thinking. And there is no amount of achievement, no amount of success that can get you into it. It totally is dependent on your education, your family. It depends on much with your background and what you're trained to do, and your way of thinking. And I'm telling you, it's the most exclusive club in the country.
And so, knowing that, you can look at who's the apparent heir to the throne, per se. It's not going to be J.D. Vance. I don't mean that J.D. Vance can't win the election. He is not going to be establishment. He does not have the pedigree. You've seen the movie. You understand where he came from. He's not elite. Marco Rubio, not elite. Pete Hegseth, not elite. None of the people who we would think are coming up next will be able to fit into that box. And so, because of that, the Democrats and the media, one and the same, will do everything they can to make sure you know it's hopeless. There's no way you guys can win. The midterms are toast. Maybe even 2028. You got nothing. It's all over. The polls say, you can't win. It's all meant to demoralize you. It's all meant to keep you in place. Remember, as you're listening to Rush from the grave, this was years ago, and it's still happening. Nothing has changed. And so one of the questions I have for you, and today is a big day for it, what have you done personally? What have you done financially to put yourself in a position to make sure that what Donald Trump is doing is benefiting you and your family? Because if you're sitting around like this, you're toast. Absolutely toast. Because they will take it away from you as soon as they regain power. And so, in addition to right now doing everything we can to get his agenda passed, and hopefully the midterms take care of themselves, today is a monstrous day. Today is a day where you got to warm up your fingers. Make it known what's about to happen. Because financially, this rocket ship is about to literally take off. I'm going to show you about that as soon as we're done with Rush.
And they have been rocked. The establishment has been in charge, in control, and running things for longer than you would believe. And it gets away with disguising itself by having two political parties that appear to be at war with each other. And they make a pretty good show of it. There are some differences in the party. I mean, the establishment's not all friends. They're not all like-minded. They're not all going to backyard barbecues together. But even those who are on the outs politically, say Republicans, not part of the mainstream media apparatus, not part of the dominant liberal culture, there nevertheless are members, and they value that and they treasure it, and they will put their remaining membership, staying a member of the establishment, above anything else, winning elections.
You're seeing this. You see, there are pollsters, there are podcasters, there are celebrities, there are influencers out there who are putting their own needs in front of what's best for the movement. They're showing themselves to you on a daily basis. Because right now, as I've said before, we should be focusing on 2026. We should be focusing on Trump's agenda. They don't want to stop trying to bring them to the party. They don't want to play. They want to be who they are. They want to be the star. They want to do whatever it is going to take to get their bank accounts better. Donald Trump is out here working to help you get your bank account in a better position. And what we've seen over the last year are so many people on the right who shun prosperity, who think prosperity is a bad thing, and it's giving people the opportunity to drag you by a nose ring. Even if you don't have one, they're sticking their fingers up your nose and come over here with us, because we're not like the people who want to be and have aspirations of a better life. You see it every single day right now. I'm like, is it really that bad, or is it just me? No, it's not just me. When I realized it wasn't just me, it was because I started looking elsewhere. I put up a post yesterday and I'm like, you know what? It's time for a timeline cleanse, because the algorithm will keep giving you what you're looking at. So I'm going to stop looking at that stuff and start looking at different things. Am I confusing you? I shouldn't. It shouldn't be confusing. Today, in about an hour, Jerome Powell is going to be releasing the information on the interest rate cut. And watch what happens. The Democrats will cry, the market will be manipulated, but in the bottom line, interest rates and housing are going to get better. And then after the first of the year, Katie bar the door. It's going to get nuts. But nobody's telling you that. So I'm going to take it upon myself today to tell you, stop listening to the establishment, and that means people on the right as well.
Elections, finding certain kinds of employment. It really is a close and tight-knit group. It's relatively small when you compare it to the entire population of the country, but it is where all of the power and the wealth is actually concentrated. Now, there are a lot of wealthy people not part of it, like Trump, but it's it's the power center and the power structure of the country. There are people who live in California that are in the Washington establishment. There are people in New York that are part of it. Very few, but they're there. And the attitude is they are better than everybody else. They are special simply by virtue of membership in this club. They are special in ways that nobody...
And what you're seeing are a lot of people jockeying and positioning themselves as if they're in some sort of club. You can see the cool kids already. You know who the cool kids are. They're the ones that want to get on stage. They're the ones that want to get on television. They're the ones that want to be, thought of as authoritative. But yet not hardly any of them say anything to help you. Don't take my word for it. I'm sure you watch a lot of different podcasts. I'm sure you look at a lot of different people on X. Tell me where any of these people say, we're going to help you prosper. We're going to help you do something better with your life. We're going to show you different things you can do. You won't find it. I looked around a lot, especially in the last, 2 weeks. It's insane. And it's getting more insane by the day. This person getting worried about getting shot up, and this person's worried about who killed, Charlie, whether they wear maroon shirts, came out and actually said, I don't even care about the midterms. I don't care, is what one person said. Other people are still retweeting it, and I'm thinking, all you guys have, pretty good-sized audiences. Are you not going to tell people what they should be looking for? Are you not going to tell people where the puck is and where it's going? Are you so intent on being accepted in a clique of other podcasters and news people, where everything is so superficial? We got to stop. I don't care about the establishment because the establishment doesn't care about me. The establishment doesn't care about you. So why would you invest into the so-called establishment? Which is why they hate Trump. The enemy of my enemy. You have to realize at this point you're being manipulated if that's the kind of conversation you want to wallow in. Not me. I don't want to wallow in that. I don't want to get there. I want to let the establishment be the establishment. I want to do what Trump's doing, and I want to do what he's allowing me to do, the opportunity that he's providing.
Can replicate. You cannot be the people they are, because you don't come from the people they come from. I mean, it's that exclusive. You can't grow up having no knowledge of the establishment and end up going to school at Harvard and doing well and automatically end up in the establishment. It's doable. Of course, it's been done, but it's not automatic. And as I say, there's no initiation ceremony. There's no clubhouse. It's an attitude, it's an aura, and the attitude is one of total superiority.
There you go. I know better. I am so-and-so. I'm like, no, I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm just telling you stories. But I do know what moves I'm making. I do know what Robin and I talk about. I do know what other people in the Fanfare family have been doing because they email us and tell us. I'm like, okay, well then it's working. I do know when I have guests on here who give us advice. Yeah, it's worked. Anybody else giving you advice on how to get your life better? How to do things for your family? Or are they talking about crazy crap? Absolutely insane stuff. There's a reason for it because of the algorithm and things of that nature, but let's go ahead and reverse the algorithm. Let's be the anti-establishment. Let's be those rogue people who are doing nothing but watching Trump and going, okay, we might lose the midterms, I gotcha, but right now, we're going to bank. We're going to have a good life. Pay attention to what he's saying, what Scott Bissent's saying, what Kevin Hassett is saying, what Sean Duffy is saying, what J.D. Vance is saying. Yeah, I want to do that. I don't care. These guys are actually driving the boat. I want to know what the captain's doing. What's the captain seeing? You see an iceberg ahead? Nope, everything's good. Good for me. I don't care what you're saying.
Supremacy, knowledge, power, they're better and they know it than everybody else. It doesn't matter how dumb or stupid they are. These are the people ruining everything, by the way. These are the people that got us $20 trillion in debt. And the people that voted for him in large part. I mean, you can't exempt the dependent class totally from this, but you get my drift. And Trump will never, ever, no matter what, never, ever will be admitted to this. No matter what he does, no matter what he says, no matter how many friends he makes that are in the estate, it will never happen. They can't permit it. If somebody like Trump is permitted in the establishment and is an acknowledged member of it, then there goes the establishment. Everything they have used to keep people out will have blown to smithereens. He can't become a member of it, and he shouldn't even try or want to, because the things he would have to do to convince them he's worthy would mean betraying everybody that elected him. And he's not going to do that.
And neither should you. Betrayal is a point of no return. Betrayal is where you've lost all your credibility, and you will forever be known at that point as a turncoat, a flip-flopper. I got on the Trump train, and I got a punch ticket for a full ride. There weren't any stops I was getting off on. I knew when I got on this, it's like, let's go. And one of the things I've been seeing is that people are trying to tell me it's not working. That what we're seeing isn't happening. They're telling me, get off the next exit. They're telling you, bail, pull the ripcord, this is awful. And I'm thinking, it's December of 2025. And you're saying, oh my God, it's awful, jump ship, abandon the boat. Why? Because reality doesn't match what they're screaming. Well, here, let me show you something else here. Oh, I got a lot to show you. But this is Mr. Scott Bessent last night.
President Trump has closed the border. 2 million people have gone home, so check on immigration. Bond market had the best year it's had since 2020. Interest rates are down, mortgage rates are down. We're starting to see life in the housing market, and rental rates are down about 5%. I expect they'll be down 10 or 15 from the peak. And then 3, inflation, we're working on that. The energy prices are down. Gasoline nationally is now below $3 a gallon. It's below $2 in a couple of states. So I think we're on a very good track on inflation. And
a very good track. It's more than a good track. It's going well. But you won't hear that from people. Oh, no, it still sucks. I'm not doing anything. You got to pay attention. You have to pay attention. That was my thumbnail today. Paying attention? Going to school? Understanding what's happening? Or you want to find out who's did this and wonder why that's happening? And like, I ain't got time for it. I got a wife. I got a daughter. I got grandkids. I got a business. I have all these things I want to do. I want to buy more houses. I want to, all kinds of things. Why do I care about this other stuff? Why do you care about it? Why do people like watching train wrecks? Why do people like watching car accidents? They call it rubbernecking for a reason, because people look like that. Hey, what happened over there? And then sometimes they end up getting in an accident. Instead of listening to guys like Scott Bessent, who's telling you what's coming. Or not, no, he hasn't told you what's coming. He told you what's already happened.
I'm also the IRS commissioner as well as the Treasury Secretary, and I can see that the president's signature initiatives in the One Big Beautiful Bill, and I tell you, he fought harder than anyone for these. No tax on tips, no tax on the overtime, no tax on Social Security, auto deductibility. That the bill was passed in July, and working Americans didn't change their withholding, so they're going to be getting very large refunds in the first quarter. So I think
Did you hear that? Did you hear what he just said? If you change your withholding and know what you're doing, you're going to get a very large refund in the first quarter. First quarter is January, February, and March. January, February, March. April 15th. The puck is heading that way. So when I'm listening to what he's saying, and I listen to what President Trump is saying, and I understand what the big beautiful bill is doing and what it was designed to do, have you noticed you haven't heard one Democrat talk about what's coming? Oh, they're bombing people. They're bombing drug boats. Oh, it's awful. We need train wreck. Let's see what happens. You're not talking about what's happening, what's actually going on financially. And I'm not making this a show completely about finance, but when it gets towards the end of the year, you start projecting for the year to come, it's usually about finance. Where am I at right now at the end of the year? Did it work out for me? And most people would say, well, here's where we are, and this is where we want to be next year. Well, I want to be, finishing up the year, we're getting ready to do, our end of year review, and here's where we are. Do you just stop there? Or do you say, all right, I understand our numbers were this or that. What are we going to do in 2026? What's our plan? There's nobody in the Democrat Party even talking about that. We're about to get a drop in interest rates going into prime housing season in the spring. We may get 2 interest rate drops going into prime housing season. Wasn't everybody talking about affordability? Affordability, we got to find a way to get new home buyers into houses. Oh, it's awful, boomers did this. And then they stopped talking about it. Why? Why was it a big deal a couple weeks ago, but now as it's about to happen, crickets?
You see $150 billion of refunds, which could be between $1,000 and $2,000 per household. Then they'll change their withholding, and they'll get a real increase in their wages.
Did you hear that? Did you know that? Are you going to do that? See, right now you should be scrambling for pencil and paper. So, wait a second. I got to change my withholding because of the big, beautiful bill, and I'm going to get even more? Yes. Anybody telling you that? No. Because you're paying attention to crap instead of listening to what these people are saying. I mean, it gets even better. I mean, listen to this.
On tips and overtime, there's a max reduction for tips is $25,000. So imagine if you are somebody who uses tips as part of your salary or to make your living, that will have an impact. The senior deduction, you have to be 65 years old. It phases out at $75,000. But again, for people who are saying gas prices, which are lower, but that food prices are higher, that it's hard for them, that might help as well. There's a no tax on car loan interest. Now, that can be helpful, but what might be even more helpful is what they announced last week, which is they're doing away with some of the EPA rules on these car and fuel mileage. That actually will help bring the cost of cars down, probably even more. And then
okay, so it's funny as you listen to her, she's going pretty fast going through all this stuff. It's breadcrumbs. That might not be that, but if you tie this with this, it's how do you do it? Listen to that again as she ties the car loans into the next thing. Watch this. Listen again.
Be helpful, but what might be even more helpful is what they announced last week, which is they're doing away with some of the EPA rules on these car and fuel mileage. That actually will help bring the cost of cars down, probably even more.
You see, there's more information that if you're not paying attention to. Wait a second. So not only can I deduct the interest on a car loan, but the cars are going to be cheaper because all this EPA stuff isn't attached to it. Wow, that's a big affordability hack, isn't it? You'd think everybody would be screaming that from the top of their lungs. Cars are going to be cheaper to buy and operate in 2026. I could have had a V8.
And then a child tax credit expansion. That's very bipartisan. A lot of people like this. A lot of people love to see good economic news, but I would say Josh Holmes, our next guest here. Josh, you know communications very well. To me, economic communications is one of the hardest things. If the economy is great, everyone feels it. If it doesn't feel so great, it's hard to convince people that it's going so well. One question for you. How important is it to find the right ratio for President Trump to say, look what I inherited from President Biden, but also to look ahead at what's to come?
Yeah, well, listen, I think President Trump is doing exactly what he needs to do in terms of getting out there and selling this. You cannot let Democrats frame an affordability debate.
Pretty simple. Right now, what we're seeing is people are indeed framing affordability by not talking about affordability. That is a magician's, sorcerer's type of thing that the Democrats are doing. They're telling you things are too expensive, but they're not telling you how they're going to change. They're not telling you what you need to do. All they're saying is just give me. Hey, the insurance, the premiums are going to go up. No, the premiums aren't going to go up. The subsidy is going to go away. The problem is the insurance has been too high because we've been paying insurance companies instead of people. But nobody can buy a car. Well, in 2026, here's what's going to happen. In 2026, you're going to see, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's talking about it.